Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome to Soulful Saturdays with Saylor. Around here, we cut through the noise, ditch the fluff, and dive straight into what matters: spiritual wellness, radical self acceptance, and unapologetic soulful living. Each week, I'll bring you truth with a side of sass, reflections that wake you up, and reminders that you are glorious. So, whether you've got your journal, your coffee, or that wild, messy bun, you are exactly where you need to be. This year, is 2026. We're journeying with your compass. That's our theme for the year, helping your soul navigate, guiding your heart, trusting your inner knowing. January's whisper is listen, slowing down after the holiday rush, quieting the noise, and tuning in to what your soul is actually saying. And today, we are diving into a topic that hits so many of us deeply. Your body has been trying to talk to you. So I want to ask you a question. Have you been ignoring your body lately? Yeah. Hello. Me too. So today we're talking about that little thing called your body, the one you live in, and why it's been trying to get your attention with aches, fatigue, tension, and also the little subtle hello moments that we like to override. And spoiler alert, your body is not the problem. It's the messenger. So let's talk about it. Okay. So that soft little whisper about listening, yeah, our theme for January, it's inviting us to slow down. It is. After the holidays, the pressure of resolutions and all the new year, new me energy that can feel more exhausting than inspiring. And this week, we're dialing that listening practice right into our body. Yep, your body. Because here's the truth: your body has been trying to talk to you, not quietly, not politely, more like tapping you on the shoulder, then clearing its throat, then eventually waving both arms, going, hello, are you there? And most of us, we don't listen. We override, we push through, we label it stress or getting older or just life. We ignore fatigue. We normalize tension. We call intuition overthinking. We treat symptoms instead of listening to the message. So let me say this clearly, lovingly. Oh, and yes, with that little sass, your body is not the problem, it's the messenger. Your body is the first language your soul ever learned how to speak. Before words, before logic, before your to do list, before your people pleasing. And when your body speaks, it's not trying to sabotage you, it's trying to guide you, protect you. Slow down before you burn out. Wake you up before you break down. So today, we're not fixing anything. We're not judging anything. We're not trying to change anything. We're simply listening. So let's get into this. Let's be honest for a moment, really honest. How many times have you ignored that deep fatigue, like it's just Monday or it's just life or I'll rest later, when later never actually comes? How many times have you brushed off that tight neck, those tense shoulders, that knot in your stomach as just stress, popped a pill, poured another cup of coffee, or powered through like your body is some kind of annoying coworker instead of a lifelong partner? How many times, be real with yourself, that you have called your intuition overthinking when what it really was your soul trying to get your attention through a sensation? Because that's what your body does. It doesn't speak in sentences, it speaks in sensations. It speaks in tightness, it speaks in fatigue, it speaks in relentlessness, in heaviness, in subtle feelings that say something is off. And instead of listening, we manage it, we medicate it, we numb it, we scroll past it, we override it. Headache? Take a pill. Stomach upset? Ignore it. Heart racing? Tell yourself to calm down. Heavy chest? Take a deep breath and push it down. We've been trained to be functional, not connected. Efficient, not embodied. Productive, not present. We've been taught to treat our bodies like machines instead of messages. And listen, I'm not judging. I'm not shaming. I've done all of this too, probably in the same week, maybe even in the same day, because the world rewards override. It rewards pushing. It rewards strong. It rewards, I'm fine. It rewards burnout wrapped in a cute outfit with a full calendar. But your soul does not speak in hustle. Your soul speaks in whispers. And when those whispers aren't heard, they become sensations. And when those sensations aren't listened to, they become symptoms. And when those symptoms aren't honored, they become breakdowns. Not as punishment, but as protection. Your body is always trying to bring you back to yourself. That tension in your shoulders, it might be saying you're carrying too much that isn't yours. That fatigue, that no amount of sleep seems to fix. It might be saying you're living out of alignment, not just out of energy. That anxiety fluttering in your chest, it might be saying you're not safe being disconnected from your truth. That heaviness you can't explain, that I don't even know what's wrong feeling, that might be grief that you've never let yourself feel, or a boundary you never let yourself set, or a version of yourself you outgrew and never said goodbye to. Your body keeps the score not to punish you, but it's there to protect you. And that's the hardest part. When we're taught not to trust it, we trust experts, we trust schedules, we trust productivity apps, we trust our calendars more than our nervous system. We cancel ourselves before we cancel on anyone else. Oh, yeah, we do. Be honest. We'll override exhaustion to meet expectations. We'll ignore emotional pain to avoid uncomfortable conversations. We'll silence our intuition so we don't have to make inconvenient changes. And then we wonder why we feel disconnected, why we feel tired but wired, why we feel like we're living a life that looks fine but feels empty. It's not because you're broken, it's because you stopped listening. Your body has been speaking the whole time, not to scare you, not to shame you, not to ruin your plans, but to guide you back into alignment, back into truth, back into yourself. So if nothing else lands today, let this land. Your symptoms are not failures, they are feedback. Your body is not the enemy, it is the interpreter between your soul and your life. And when you start listening, really listening, everything softens. You don't have to push hard. You don't have to prove as much. You don't have to perform your worth. You get to partner with your body instead of fighting it. You get to respond instead of react. You get to live from wisdom instead of wounds. And that is where healing actually begins. Not in fixing yourself, but in finally listening to yourself. So let me get personal for a moment. I hit a wall a few years ago. When I say a wall, I don't mean gently leaned into it. I mean ran full speed into it while smiling and saying, I'm fine. Burnout, emotional overwhelm, exhausted in every way that doesn't show up on a blood test. And I kept telling myself, Cindy, you're fine. You just need coffee and a weekend. Just coffee, just a break, just one more push. Just get through this week. Sound familiar? But my body? Oh, my body was not buying what my mouth was selling. My shoulders were permanently up around my ears. My chest felt tight for no logical reason. I couldn't fall asleep even when I was exhausted. And when I did sleep, I didn't feel rested. My patience was thin. My joy was quieter. My spark felt dim. And still, I told myself, you're okay. Don't be dramatic. Everyone's tired. But my body kept whispering, then nudging, and then finally yelling, slow down. Listen. Refill your cup before it spills over. And what's funny? Well, actually, maybe it's not funny at all, is that I was teaching other people about self awareness, healing, listening to yourself while actively ignoring myself. Seriously, the irony there. I was fluent in wisdom, but rusty in practice. So one day, I didn't push through. I didn't override. I didn't pour another coffee or make another list. I stopped. Not dramatically, not with this big, huge announcement, just quietly. I rested. I canceled things that weren't actually urgent. I said no when my body said no. I sat still long enough to notice what I had been avoiding, the feeling. And at first, I'll be honest, it was uncomfortable. Because when you stop running, the feelings catch up. There was grief that I hadn't named. There was disappointment I hadn't processed. There was a quiet sadness about how much of myself I had been postponing. But as I stayed with myself, instead of running from myself, something softened. The tension in my shoulders eased. The anxiety tightness in my chest, it loosened its grip. My breath deepened. My thoughts slowed down. And my soul, well, she got a little louder. Not in a dramatic, booming voice, but in a gentle, steady knowing. She started guiding me, back to what actually mattered, back to what actually I needed, back to what felt true instead of looking impressive. And here's what surprised me the most: nothing fell apart. The world didn't collapse around while I rested. People didn't abandon me because I said no. My life didn't shrink because I slowed down. I got clear. I got quieter. I got kinder, especially to myself. I became more present, more honest, more myself. I stopped living from adrenaline and started living from alignment. And that changed everything. And I didn't even realize what I was doing at the time until I took a pause. And it's very interesting that we can be in this business and ask our clients to do this and ignore it for ourselves. And I'm extremely grateful that I took that moment. I took a moment for myself because when you live from alignment, you stop chasing worth. You stop proving your value. You stop performing your strength. You really start honoring your truth. And your body, it relaxes when you do that. And I felt that firsthand. So I really understand what my clients go through when I get them out of their comfort zone. I had to get out of my own. Your nervous system feels safer. Your mind feels steadier. Your heart feels lighter, not because life becomes perfect, but because you stop fighting yourself inside it. You don't even realize what you're doing sometimes. So if you're listening to this and thinking, that sounds like me, I want you to know something. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not failing. You're tired. You're overwhelmed. You're carrying more than you were meant to carry alone. And your body isn't betraying you by speaking up. It's loving you enough to ask you to come home to yourself. So maybe your invitation this week isn't to do more. Maybe it's to pause. Yes, pause. To notice, to listen, to let your body tell you what your mind has been too busy to hear. Because when you stop running from yourself, you finally get to meet yourself. And that meeting, that's where healing begins. And sometimes it doesn't take that long to heal. Sometimes it just takes that gentle pause. So here's what I really want you to know. When you actually start listening to your body, magic happens. Okay. It's not sparkly in instant fairy dust kind, but the steady grounding. Oh, this is what peace feels like. You get safety, not because the world suddenly becomes less chaotic, but because you become safer place for yourself. You stop forcing, you stop overriding, you stop abandoning yourself to meet everyone else's expectation. Your nervous system exhales. Your body stops bracing. Your heart softens. That's safety. You get self trust because every time you listen and honor what you hear, you're teaching yourself, I can trust me. I can trust when I'm tired. I can trust when something feels off. I can trust when something feels right, even if I can't explain it. That kind of trust, that changes how you make decisions. That changes how you show up. That changes how you choose. You get gentler self talk because when you stop treating your body like a problem to fix, you start treating yourself like a project. Like you don't, you stop criticizing your needs. You stop judging your limits. You stop calling rest lazy and sensitivity weak. You start speaking to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. That's healing. Yes, that is healing. And you get sustainable energy, not the adrenaline kind, not the coffee fueled kind, not the push until you crash kind, the kind that comes from being in alignment instead of in resistance, from saying yes when it's true and no when it's not, from resting before you're empty instead of after you're depleted. No more crash and burn. No more pretending that you're fine when you're not. No more feeling guilty from slowing down, because slowing down isn't quitting, it's listening. And listening is how you finally come back to yourself. So, here is your nudge for the week. Your body isn't failing you, it's trying to save you. It's not being dramatic. It's not being inconvenient. It's not trying to ruin your plans. It's trying to guide you back into alignment, back into truth, back into yourself. So, listen, not with judgment, not with urgency, not with a to do list in your hand. Listen with curiosity. Listen with compassion. Listen like you would listen to a dear friend who finally worked up the courage to tell you that what they really need. Because your soul is whispering through your body every single day. Through that little ache that says, slow down. Through that fatigue that says you've been carrying too much. Through that heaviness that says something needs to be released. Through the lightness that says, yes, this is right. And you don't have to decode it perfectly. You don't have to get it right the first time. You don't have to become some ultra intuitive guru overnight. You just have to be willing to pause, willing to notice, willing to ask, what are you trying to show me? Instead of, how do I make this go away? Because when you start listening, your life shifts, not because everything becomes easy, not because you stop fighting yourself inside of it. Your energy rises because you're no longer leaking it into resistance. I think I need to say that one more time. Your energy rises because you're no longer leaking it into resistance. Your clarity returns because you're no longer drowning in it, in the noise. Your joy becomes accessible again because you've made space for it. And you, my friend, you come home to yourself. And that is the real healing. That is the real magic. That is the real power of listening. And now, my friend, this is our episode on your body has been trying to talk to you. Yes, it is. Probably right now. So thank you for tuning in. You beautiful souls, thank you. Take this week to notice your body's whispers. And remember, slowing down isn't lazy, it's listening. This is your body has been trying to talk to you. So as you move through your week, carry this truth with you in your heart. You are worthy, you are radiant, and your presence matters. And never forget, stay soulful, stay sassy, stay you. I'll see you next Saturday, beautiful soul. Same time, same vibe, same glorious energy.